poppin' YouTube? Welcome back, chat. I have a question for you guys. Press 1 if you know anything about a person named David going into this. Press 2 if you don't. What if you know? Wait, what if you don't? Wait, what if you know? 2 if you don't? Yeah, what if you know? 2 if you don't? I got confused myself by what I said. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of 2s. Okay, so over the past few weeks, especially within the past 2 weeks, a lot of info has been coming out about an artist named David, who you might know for making a song, one of the songs in Invincible, the series that we covered over my other channel. Also just an up-and-coming artist in general. And there was a body found in the back of his Tesla. So let's learn more. Don't forget to like button, subscribe button, leave a comment down below to feed the algorithm guads. Before we get started though, baby, you know what to do. Support the original video. Turkey Tom's video will be linked in the description down below. Always support the original. It should support me too, Sade, because I am uploading 2 videos every single day of October, November, December. That's right, 2 videos every single day here on Aliciaxdeath. We are pushing our way to 400,000 subscribers, and it's in your hands to make it happen. Double check to make sure you're subscribed. Just double check for me. All right, let's get it. Code word for today, so you did not skip this intro, is Tesla. Because them stock prices are going down for sure after this one, bestie. Them stock prices are going down. All right, let's get it.
2025, police officers found body parts in the trunk of a vehicle showing signs of prolonged malnourishment. Upon further investigation, they discovered these were the remains of a teenage girl that had been missing for 17 months, and that the car belonged to indie artist David, who had over 30 million listeners and songs with almost 250 million views on YouTube. An already dark and tragic incident became even darker, as people online slowly unraveled 4 years of David foreshadowing this.
All right, body parts. I thought you said it was a body, right? So there's like 2 different things, right? They think, so I don't know if Turkey Tom will get into this in the video, but just to let you guys know, there's reporting saying it's a body and reporting saying it's body parts. There's 2 reports saying both. Now, the thing is that they have not released to the public if it's only in parts because of decomposition or if it's in parts because of it being severed. So we don't know if it's parts from dismemberment or if it's parts from it decaying. So since we don't know, we can't really say, right? So unless he goes into that, I'm not sure.
Would happen through his music, which he was performing the same day the body was found. This is one of the most downright evil stories I've ever covered, so viewer discretion is advised.
Do not say IRL Dexter. Them shits is not the same. Do you know why? Because Dexter has one code, and his code is never hurt children. I just watched the pilot to Dexter yesterday, and in the pilot, he goes, kids? Never children. That's one of the first lines he says, right? This happened to Celeste, a 15-year-old girl.
2018, 13-year-old David Anthony Burke was a homeschooled kid with not just a normal family, but an unusually well-to-do family unit. His parents were still together, had a strong religious background, and were well off financially, as his dad was a regional litigation support project manager for a global firm with 75 offices and a staff of over 1,500 attorneys.
Oh, wow, I did not know that.
Briefly shows you just how many huge law firms he dealt with and how much experience he had. By all means, the Burke family was well supported and had everything they needed. However, David had mostly unsupervised access to the internet, and they simply had no idea the kinds of things he would expose himself to. But we'll get to that later. To their knowledge, and likewise to the public's knowledge, David's teenage years had him either studying or playing Fortnite and making edits and montages of it. But due to the prominent role music plays in Fortnite edits, he found his content getting frequently copyright striked. Over the course of 3 years where he struggled with this problem, he decided to take his interest in artists like XXXTentacion and Tyler the Creator to try his hand at making his own music to avoid copyright. This culminated in the release of his first song on YouTube, Runaway, which was released in December 2021. From the get-go, the themes in his music are very clear and repetitive. The speaker in the song is trying to get someone they love to come live with them, feeling sad when they feel their feelings are not reciprocated, fearing that their partner is running away, and lastly, having these these feelings boil over into aggression and a jealous anger. In a song from February 2022, he says, "I look into your eyes and I can see right through your lies. I think we both know who dies here. You can't leave the past behind. You're the only one that lies here." In another song from just 1 month later, he has the phrase, "Save your tears 7 years" in the chorus. And I think at this point it's necessary to introduce you to David's alleged victim.
Okay, I'm so glad I didn't pause sooner than that, because I was gonna pause and talk about one of his songs and talk about that lyric in particular. So I'm just glad Turkey Tom is as thorough as he is. But yeah, at the time of him putting out that song, she was 11. Save your tears 7 years, as obviously we'll never know if it, but 2 + 2 = 4, bitch. You know what I'm saying? If she's 11, save your tears 7 years, means she'd be 18, right? It's one of those things where it's not like we're not stupid. You know what I mean?
For legal purposes. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, born on September 7th, 2010, meaning in early 2022, she'd have been 11, 7 years away from being 18.
Just
Meanwhile,
a baby.
David would be 17. While no one had any reason to suspect anything at the time, the contents of his music only became more concerning. Over his next 2 songs that are almost follow-ups to one another, the narrative David is describing goes from just needing a friend to a song called More Than Just Friends, where he says, "I told you keep it 10 or you'll end up dead." Pieces put together like a puzzle. Over the next 8 songs, this narrative is mostly maintained, with David talking about being sent into jealous frenzies and obsessively sending whoever he's talking to hundreds of messages, while occasionally saying things like "trying to kill you slowly" and "we're gonna die tonight." As much as it's pretty commonplace for these themes to appear in this.
So one thing to know about David is what he would say in interviews a lot, by the way, to cover up a lot of this, was that he'd be like, "Oh, I've never really experienced love or relationships. No. That's not really about me. What I would do is I'd go people watching, and I'd watch people in relationships, and then I would write songs about people I see." And it's like, dog, dog, these lyrics are too specific. I don't know, dog.
Kind of music, it often seemed like David was being a bit too oddly specific about his subject matter. This is even more the case when you factor in the kinds of things he was tweeting at the time, such as, "When I was writing this, I got a notification from you, as you were talking about wanting to be with your mom and your sister again. Take me where I belong, but your circumstances won't allow us to be in our ideal situations. We gotta push through it, bro." It's one thing for there to be odd lyrics, but this is just him talking on a tweet about how someone needs to push through their wishes to be with their mom and sister again. While the post he was replying to there is now gone, there is a Wayback Machine snapshot of what the original exchange was. In it, David, with his old handle, Ant Part 2, is replying to someone named 6K4TE, who says, "This relates to how I feel so heavily," to one of his songs. The only other hit for this exact handle is a Pinterest profile whose last piece of activity took place 11 months ago. Currently, this Twitter handle is being used by someone else who is not related to the original owner of the handle or David, so don't go messaging them because they have nothing to do with anything. The only other significant pieces of David's Twitter activity from around this period are him saying that religion is a money scheme and that he'd been studying nihilism lately. Although she was probably there for longer, the earliest record of a Celeste in David's Discord server comes from October 2022, when she would have been 12. It's around this time that we got one of the most damning instances of David telling on himself. The music video for the track Romantic Homicide. The video depicts David in some pretty ritualistic scenes, surrounded by candles with a blindfold on, standing in front of a seemingly deceased girl. Later on, it's suggested that the evidence of the crime is hid away inside of a suitcase. The lyrics aren't very specific, but they too reflect the same themes from before, killing someone he loves. While his previous songs had already gotten some degree of attention, this one was by far his biggest hit yet, taking him from being an obscure indie artist to being in the same category as people like Juice WRLD. Last but not least, if you check the date this video was posted, it was exactly on the 7th of September, Celeste's birthday. Maybe due to how much success this song.
It's also brought up that the girl that he uses in this music video resembles Celeste as well. And he ends up posting it on her fucking birthday. And it's like, dude, are you making songs about a child? and being with a child and making over 1 billion views off of your infatuation with a child? Did he kill the girl? Well, allegedly. Like, we don't know, right? All we know for a fact is that a body was found in the trunk of his Tesla. That's all we know as a fact, and it was Celeste. She's been identified. But we don't know, technically, as a fact, if he killed her or not. Right? But allegedly, right? As people on the internet, most of us kind of presume.
Got him. David got even bolder about subliminally referencing the insidious things he was doing behind the scenes. 2 months into the new year, he started opening up to his Discord server.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, man, because even if he didn't kill her, right? Even if it was unfortunate and someone else did it, he was still fucking around with the kid, right? Like, are we gonna ignore that part, though? Right? Because I feel like even if it's like he wasn't the one who did it and we find that out later on or something, he's still the one doing bad shit because he shouldn't be talking to a kid. Anyway.
Which obviously was full of minors. In a long string of messages, he said, "I used to be addicted to watching gore videos. Live Leak was bookmarked. Lamau. I saw a cartel execution on Reddit when I was 14. Got to the point where I don't even cringe when I see it no more. I remember laughing at one point. It got bad, man. I like writing gory psychological drama, romantic quotes, and a lot of death. I love gore. Gore is better than adult videos." This is absolutely not the first time someone has mentally self-destructed.
I'm gonna be real with you. He just sounds like a fucking 13-year-old, bro. I'm so fucking edgy, bro. I love gore. Yeah, man, I'm so fucking cool, man. I just love watching, like, gore videos and, like, yeah, bro. It's like, fuck. Ew. Oh, man. Like, yeah, you're 13 and edgy, bro, but you're actually a full-ass adult grooming kids. All right, whatever.
Gore videos. There is such a huge community online of absolute freaks surrounding this kind of thing that I'm surprised there hasn't been a massive crackdown on it. And that's without mentioning how the same platform for this kind of video often leads to other, more illegal kinds of content. Another sign David was getting increasingly comfortable with letting other people know was that the entire server was at least somewhat in.
I was about to say, isn't he an adult? Yeah, he is an adult. Yeah. When she was 11, he was 17. So when he was in his 20s, she was 13. Just so you know.
He was with Celeste. Some kind of bot on his server shared what looks like a playlist called Celeste in David's Closet. In late March,
well, sorry. When she died, he was in his 20s, is what I meant to say, because she's 15. My bad. I spoke there.
By the name James Buttergun said David only added underage girls to the server, and even specified that this wasn't some kind of joke, even if other users in there would joke about it openly. While I'm sure plenty of people had no idea about David's proclivities, based on the messages that have become public, at least some of them absolutely did, to the point where they even knew which girls specifically David talked to more frequently. One Reddit user said, "One of the old Discord screenshots were two guys, allegedly, chatting, and they said that David wouldn't add them back, but he followed his underage girl fans immediately. One of them made a teenage catfish girl account, and David immediately followed his catfish account back. But his self-tells notoriously don't limit themselves to his Discord messages. A music video from November 2022 featured a girl that looked similar to Celeste. Another one from February 2023 depicted him playing the part of a dead body, specifically wearing clothes to make him appear smaller than he actually was, and getting placed into the back of a car. On April 3rd, he released a promotional video that opened with these words.
You see, when a human being is drained of all of its blood, it becomes pale, lifeless, just as the rose, visually appealing, only good to observe and admire. But the moment you go to pick it up, you get stabbed.
He released 2 other projects this year, and again, we can find various allusions to his secret, having to defend his quote-unquote love from people who...
I don't think those... Listen, I think these lyrics are fine if there wasn't a dead body in his trunk. You know what I mean? I'm someone who listens to a lot of metal, right? I used to listen to a lot of deathcore as well. Like, I just kind of enjoy those genres, right? And there's a lot of times where they'll be like, "I'll fucking blah, 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 rip out their throat, blah, blah, blah," right? Like, it's, like, it's kind of just something common in like, more like mortality-based music. But again, they don't have fucking bodies in their cars. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes it so much more fucked up. And they're also like, I mean, then again, there's a lot of artists out there who fuck around with kids, man. You know, and it's hard. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Yep.
Questioned it being obsessive and even self-destructive, references to roses and shovels, describing himself as the devil, and becoming aggressive when his partner tries to leave. While most of the music videos are innocuous, the girls in them always look like Celeste, although one of them stands out as the most disturbing of all. On the 7th of September, Celeste's birthday, the anime video for a song called Rehab was released, wherein the female character gets butchered, literally cut into pieces by David's character. Uncoincidentally, around the same time this video came out,
Okay, more than once he's posted on her fucking birthday, right? Like, what are we doing here? And it looks like he's fantasizing about killing her in these videos, right? Now, I'm not accusing him, right? But allegedly, you know, this seems like it correlates.
David
This is
makes a song called
insane!
Celeste that, although he'd never released it, ended up leaking. In it, there are lyrics about Celeste only opening up when she's high and having his name tattooed on her chest. Up until this point, there were only allusions, and this was the first time he outright said her name in a song. Even if he didn't release it, it leaked anyway. And more, it seemed like David was getting something out of teasing his followers with his illegal activities. In the same month, David did a stream with Celeste visibly in the background, and
I'm gonna tee up for 1 second. Someone says to me, it's hindsight thing. He flaunted his sick side so openly, someone should have caught him sooner. That's the thing, though. There were posts back in 2023 of people being like, bro's a predator. 2 years ago, her body was only found last month. Oh, sorry, not last month. They started talking about his charges last month. The body was found earlier this year, right? In 2025. So 2 years ago, people were already calling him out for this. But it didn't matter because his popularity was too high. Like, that's what we live in. It's kind of sad.
He only replied with, "You are a fed." This person who asked about her, a Discord user called Lamp, was then threatened by David, who said, "Wallahi, he's finished. I know what he leaked already. We're literally
I mean, a good example of that too is fucking Diddy right now. Diddy just got 4 years after all the shit he's done. And it's like, oh, cool. So fame and clout put you above repercussions for your actions. Like, that's what it comes down to. It's like, good to know, right? You hit motherfuckers with a oopsies, my bad, and make a little crying video and you're probably out of it, dog. That's what it comes down to. It's fucking pathetic.
To sue him, Lamau. Lamp is about to owe $30,000. Legal team going bonkers right now. How confident can a guy be that he's threatening to get legal with someone as they literally have a picture of him with a 13-year-old girl? To make matters worse, for the whole year of 2023, he was actively looking for other minors to do the same thing to, as he had been caught DMing girls well under the age of 18. In January 2024, he made a post on TikTok with a bunch of Hello Kitty gear, and when someone commented asking David to adopt them, David replied, tagging an account that was clearly an alt, saying, "Should we?" This account had little to no activity, but was listed as having Celeste's birthday, meaning it possibly belonged to her. But besides this post, David was less explicit about his criminal involvement with Celeste in his music. But that doesn't mean the situation was getting any better. Quite the opposite, actually. In mid-February 2024, a Facebook user by the name of Dora Hernandez made a post which read, "Celeste Hernandez is my niece. She's missing this morning and didn't get to her classes in Lake Elsinore, California. She is 13 years old. If anyone has seen her, please contact me or her parents, Mercedes Martinez, or call the police." Immediately after, Celeste's mother, Mercedes, also made a post asking for help, and the efforts to locate her waged on for the next few days, coming from multiple family members and acquaintances of her. However, about 5 days later, Mercedes made a currently unavailable post that was replied to by the rest wraths of the family, with things like, "Thank God our prayers have been answered." And in another exchange, a redacted person said, "She came home last night," which leads me to
So how I found out about this story was through my fiance. So like one morning I was making us omelets and he was like, "You hear about the David shit?" And I was like, "No." And he goes, "Really?" He goes, "You're like, you don't normally hear about all this internet shit going on." I was like, "Nah, I've been really tapped out of it all recently." And he's like, "Okay, well, question. If you had a 13-year-old daughter, would you let her hang out with a guy who's like, I don't know, 19, 20? And I was like, "What you saying stupid shit for me to me for?" Right? And he goes, "Right, yeah. Anyways, there's this girl, and you know, she was found in an artist named David's trunk." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And like, I sat down and I was like, "Okay, run me through it." And he's like, to give me the whole rundown, right? And one of my questions was, so the mom let the daughter go with him? And he goes, "Well, first she said she was missing. And then she goes, oh, it's fine. She's with her boyfriend. And I know she's dating someone named David." So the mom knew that allegedly that this guy is in a pedophilic relationship with her daughter. So I don't know, man. I don't know how much I can blame like no one for suspecting him more than I can blame a fucking parent for letting that shit even happen. Did she know the age difference? I don't know, man. If your 13-year-old's being picked up in a fucking car, I feel like you should know the age difference. Because again, how old do you need to be to drive? Right? Like, again? So, and your daughter's 13? Cool. Right? So that's my thing. And again, I'm not here to like, I don't want to bash on someone's parents when their child just died, right? I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that person. I'm just kind of like, I'm disappointed, I guess is the best way to put it. If you're responsible enough to put out stuff if your child's missing, but you realize, oh, they're safe because they're with a man who's older? Like, what are we doing? Right? That's what concerns me. And I don't want to bash a mom who's lost their child. That's not what I'm here to do. But I'm here to ask some fucking questions about what happened. Like, what happened to make that, like, okay to you? What was said? What was done?
think that she was found around the 20th of February. Right around the same time, David was posting more frequently about some Hello Kitty girl, which absolutely meant he was talking about Celeste, as she was known to like Sanrio merch. In a confusing turn of events, within 2 months, Celeste was once again announced to be missing, seen the last time on the 5th of April wearing Hello Kitty sandals. This has led some people to theorize that some
God. Bro, like, being 13 years old and missing, bro, like, this is, Jesus Christ, man.
members of her family knew that she was with David and were okay with it, and that others weren't and continued to press for her to come home.
Exactly! So some people in her family knew she was with David. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm good.
We don't know the exact details of how this all went down, but the fact that she was with David is an absolute certainty. On his Discord server, it was widely acknowledged that they were now officially dating, and some people even knew that his girlfriend was the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This person, Ponzalo, is one of the first people to call David out on it, and in other messages, he said, "David took my little sister's friend to LA to bang in his house while she's 12. Did y'all know David likes kids? I want to tell everyone about how David is a creep." As far as I know, besides Ponzalo, the only other
Shout out to the homie right there. Probably got dogpiled on. Unlucky. Go next.
person to be going after David over this was a random TikTok commenter called Robin River in February 2024, when Celeste went missing for the first time. Among those who were familiar with David, it was simply common knowledge that he had basically kidnapped this girl. Adding insult to injury, he streamed with her on Twitch, and although she was wearing a hoodie and big glasses, it was clearly her. At some point during it, this moment happened.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
He was basically flaunting one of the most egregious crimes imaginable for hundreds of people to see, all while being world famous. In TikTok posts and Instagram stories,
Just so you know about earlier in that stream, right? So you saw that part. Earlier in the same stream, he was also telling his moderators to delete everything because people in his chat were like, ooh, David on Epstein's list, David on Epstein's list, ooh, ooh, pedophile David, pedophile David. They're making jokes about it and donating to him, making jokes about it. So he's like, oh, mods, delete it all, and kept the stream going. And then it ends off with this clip. So
he hints at basically paying her to stay with him. Around April 2024, when she was reported missing for the second time, an unreleased song called Drink and Drive was made, containing lyrics such as, "Are you still under the car? Stay with me. I know it's my fault."
why joke and not just call? I mean, it's the same as every other internet celebrity, right? It's like, what can you do? Like, think about it. If you know somebody is like assaulting someone or like grooming someone and shit like that, what can you really do? And it's like, yeah, people in their life aren't reporting it. They're paying people off. They're doing shit behind the scenes. Like, what else can you really do as like an onlooker? You know? And the people who should be involved is her parents, should be any one of her friends at school, could be her teachers, could be his own friends, her own friends, anybody in their life. But as internet onlookers, it's hard, man. Because, like, what can we really present them with to, like, help out a situation? Nothing really. Right? And police really aren't going to do shit unless you give them something. And the only way they're going to take it more seriously is if someone closer to it actually says something. No one's going to really take you seriously if you're just like a fan who calls in. Right? Like, that's expecting a lot out of law enforcement to take something seriously.
Oh God, I'm here. Can't you take me instead? She didn't deserve to go. I'll be crying in this jail cell tonight. While these are contextualized within the song, they are also eerily foreboding considering the ultimate end of this story. It's also shortly after the second missing report that possibly the worst detail of this story took place. In messages that Celeste allegedly exchanged with someone called Anissa, she said, "Anissa, do not text. He came back. He's crying. Do not text me. I fixed him. I'm staying. I fixed him. I don't know how. We both cried to get her, and he changed his mind. I'm happy he did, though. Anissa, you have to swear you're gonna stay safe. Are you still gonna talk to David, or go back with him? Because I don't want you to get in any more trouble with him. Celeste, I'm safe. No, I'm not." Now, I already made a disclaimer earlier, but either way, I'm going to paraphrase instead of straight up reading the following messages due to how vile it is. To sum it up, Celeste said that she has bled as a consequence of something that...
Why is it the streamers who are actually doing crimes that never doing crimes are swatted? Dude. I don't know, dog. I don't know. Bro, I'm telling you right, I'm already going to call it, man. He's one Google Doc and one video of him crying from getting back into everyone's good side. That's how fucked up it is to have internet clout. It's so fucking gross. Yep.
Happened with David, and just a couple of messages later says that she was also pressured into being with someone else.
I mean, look at what Cody Ko did. I mean, that's like a perfect example. Like, Cody Ko had sex with an underage girl, but Tana Mojo is one of the most hated women on the entire internet. Right? Everyone fucking hates Tana. I don't fucking like Tana, but he did assault her. But, like, again, no one cares because it's Tana. And it's also Cody Ko who cried about it. And he was so broken up about it. And he's a dad now. So we have to give him a chance, guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's It's fucking stupid. If he didn't get canceled, no one's getting canceled around here. Like, no one cares anymore. Like, that's what it's come down to. And I've realized that now too. Like, yeah. I mean, even recently, right? Was that like, I had somebody who was in my life who told me I assaulted someone, but I didn't mean to. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean you didn't mean to? If you assaulted someone, you assaulted someone. And he goes, but I didn't mean to. And he started crying. And I'm like, but you're telling me you did. And he goes, yeah, but I didn't mean it. And I'm like, I can't be around you. I don't feel safe around you. And I left. And then he started like crying to everybody. And I was like, I don't want to be around you anymore, man. Right? And I don't know what to, like, that was it. And people got mad at me. They're like, hey, how dare you drop your friend? It's fucked up what you did. And I'm like, if someone tells you that they did something, what are you supposed to do, man? Like, I don't know what you do besides be like, fuck that, I'm out. Like, I don't know. Like, and we're in a day and age where people just don't care about that anymore. Because if they see someone cry about it or they come back saying I've changed, no one cares anymore. And it's sad. Like, I don't know. I feel so torn up because like when I look at the situation like Cody Ko, he came back with his own like breakfast food, man. Phase temper situation. Yeah, man. It's like he came back with a fucking breakfast food. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where we're at. We're at like this point where like people can do some fucked up shit and like acknowledge it, but be like, but I didn't mean it. And then they kind of move on. That's what Cody's excuse was like, I didn't know. I didn't really mean it. It's not like that. And I'm like, but you did it though, right? And it's like, he's like, yeah, I did it. And I'm like, so if he says he did it, but he says he didn't mean to, does that mean we suddenly let it go? And it's like, damn, celebrity status is crazy, man. Because Cody Ko is one of the golden boys of the internet. And he used to have like quite a few million subscribers. I think he's only down to like 5 million now compared to what he used to be at. But it's like, it's so fucking ridiculous. And he still gets like millions of dollars a year. And he still gets sponsored. Like, fuck. And that's where we are. Oh, the guy who caused brain damage to his friend? Yeah, David Dobrik. David Dobrik got his own Snapchat entire series. He got his own like Snapchat, like I don't know what they call it, like channel or something, where they like post on it, and he got like a whole deal with them and still made millions after like giving one of his friends literal brain damage. Yeah. I'm happy I don't know any of the names of the ones you're saying. I mean, yeah, that's like, you're better off not knowing them for like anything, right? It's just like really heartbreaking that people's like idolization of others means more than like the actions they commit. And that's just sad, you know? It's just sad. I don't think I never did what David Dobrik. Yeah. I mean, I liked his vlogs back in the day. I'm not gonna lie. They always seemed really fun to me. But the way that he treated other people when I found out was really fucked up. Redemption is important but requires work. It's hard to say because, like, you have the right to not accept a redemption arc, though, right? I think it's also fair to say. As a viewer, you have the choice to also be like, I don't accept your change. You can accept it for yourself, but I don't need to give you that opportunity. I think it's also important to realize, right? I don't know. Because, like, for me, if you hurt somebody else or hurt their bodily autonomy, I just think you're off my list. I just don't fuck with you, right? And if somebody else wants to choose to fuck with you, I guess that's on their own merit. I'm not going to control other people. But it's also kind of like, you know what I mean? That just feels weird.
of Gus. Almost equally concerning is that David began saying in interviews that once he put together enough money, he planned to move to some remote island completely off the grid. Specifically, he noted he'd do this in about 4 years, which is when Celeste would be turning 18. Whatever his ultimate plans for her were at this time, they were clearly developing in scale. His dedication to this secret objective of his was to the point that, according to Instagram user ChandlerOTD, David had begun paying people off to keep their mouths shut about him being with a minor. And there's even a picture of what appears to be him doing it in some parking lot. Someone else on Reddit by the name of Alpha Tango Cheesecake made similar claims, saying, "This guy is a creep from what I've heard. My sister, who is now in ninth grade, told me that he was dating an 8th grader and she would go on trips with him to LA. They're all in 9th grade now, and it turns out Celeste's friends knew and he would pay them to keep their mouth shut. Celeste has been missing for over a month now, and no one knows her whereabouts. Definitely something strange going on." Despite how many times he professed his love for her, the tune slowly started to change after she went missing, presumably to go live with him. In June, he made a post captioned, "Me after hearing about her past with other boys, I'm jealous and disgusted by her actions," with the background image being Patrick Bateman holding a nail gun to a woman's head. Now,
can we also just talk about any guy who says that they're like Patrick Bateman or relate to him? You missed the point of the movie. I just want to say, you missed the point of American Psycho, and you're pathetic. Okay? Go watch it again and learn the true meaning of the movie. You're only watching clips, and it's ridiculous. There's so many Sigma Grindset accounts that reference American Psycho, and I'm like, you're actually so stupid. Holy fuck.
Any other context, I would just assume this is a complete joke and has literally no meaning behind it, but it's definitely disturbing given what we know now. And keep in mind, she was 13 going on 14 at this time, so any past she had with other people was necessarily the actions of a minor. Besides this, there's also a post suggesting an interest in cannibalism, another one pouring boiling water on her for telling another boy happy birthday, and most concerning of all, one captioned, "Me if I see her talk with other dudes," showing David cutting up meat. Slowly, these themes solidified, and after enough time passed since...
See, the difference between putting something in song lyrics and posting like that is pretty massive, right? Because one is normalizing violence against women, and the other one's just lyrics, right? Song expressionism, exaggeration, things like that, right? Again, I'm someone who fucking loves death metal, right? I listen to it quite often. So I understand, there's a very, gore and death and mortality heavy centric lyrics. But when you start normalizing brutalizing women and violence against women, that's a huge issue, right? And it's really fucking sad to see a young man pushing out to his audience, and romanticizing this behavior. Where I wish he would obsess over me like this, right? It's no, this is fucked up, man. And it's scary.
Celeste was reported as missing, David once again became bold enough to start hinting at what he was up to in his music videos. In February 2025, he released one for the song One More Dance, where he is stuffed in the trunk of a car and taken out to the middle of the woods to be buried. About a month later, he previewed a song with the following lyrics: "Nobody ever caught me, but I spoke too soon in the back of a police car. I forgot whatever I knew. I ain't telling nothing. Do the same if they ask you about her." Despite how much this sounds like he's just talking about his plans for Celeste, in the context of the rest of the song, he's talking about something that took place in November 2016. But as far as is publicly known, there's no signs he committed any kind of crime back then. I should note, however, that he has one other song where he says, "You wouldn't believe what I did as a kid back in 2016. So given that David has the proclivity to basically tell on himself in his music, people should start giving real consideration that he may have actually done something in November 2016. Now, before I fully get into all of the allusions David made to his eventual crime through his music, I'd like to give attention to an interview he gave in late April, where he said this.
Yeah, man, romantic homicide was just I wanted to feel what the other kids were feeling like. Everybody I knew, well, in middle school that I didn't talk to anymore, everybody had relationships. I didn't have a relationship. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be involved in this or have a heartbreak for myself. So I kind of just made up these scenarios of myself getting heartbroken and being in love and stuff like that.
and I would write songs about things that never happened.
Given he was born in 2005, 2016 is right when he'd be middle school aged, exactly 11 years old. I think this is relevant not just because he's made multiple references to having done something in 2016, but also because whatever this something may have been, it's a significant part of why he later on went after Celeste, also when she was 11. Now, to cover his music, there are more suggestions that Celeste was now refusing to say she loved him, and some of the lyrics became quite ominous, such as, "He might have you, but I've got your ghost, and we both know that's the real you, and God knows it's true. I love you the most, but we both know what I have to do. Eyes looking right through me. Why can't I hear your heartbeat? Dance with me under the moon above. Let us keep this perfect memory." This is probably one of the most dense set of lyrics yet, as the main theme here is one that's a pattern among many serial killers. The idea that killing someone somehow attaches them to you in a subservient role for eternity, with some of them, like the cannibal Jeffrey Dahmer, even considering it a kind of romantic intimacy. Ed Kemper even called his victims his spirit wives. Given David's documented
Lord, don't even get me started on that motherfucker. Holy shit.
Macabre culture, it would make perfect sense for him to have developed this same kind of sick delusion surrounding Celeste. Secondly, the mention of the moon is relevant because in 2025, Celeste's birthday, which had been a common release date for David's projects, fell right on a blood moon, which harkened back to his ritualistic depictions in his music videos. Another interesting theme that shows up in this period is the strings. In his album, there's an interlude called The Invisible String Theory, where David and an unknown person talk about how some people are inevitably tied together by fate. But much more importantly, in two music videos and the cover art for one of his album singles, there is the prominent presence of red strings, specifically, following the idea that David is enamored not only by gore, but also about true crime, serial killers.
Okay, so the thing about red string is that there's so many different ways that it can be interpreted, right? Because there's also the one where it's like you tie a red string onto yourself and then it links to the person you'll love in your next life, stuff like that, right? So it's like there's shit like that depending on which culture you look at, right? Then there's also like red threads, as in like when it comes to like crime boards. So there's a lot of different interpretation for that based on like what you're looking into. Right.
Killers and things of that sort. It would make sense that he's also into the TV show Dexter, which has recently experienced a huge resurgence in popularity.
It's crazy. I just
about it and new spin-offs. First,
I just watched. Oh shit! Is he gonna spoil Dexter? Because I just watched episode 1. Hold on, wait.
Blood moon thing is a small but significant motif, both in the original show, being present in one of the most meaningful and well-known scenes, which you've probably seen in edits.
I'm just gonna press forward just in case. I'm gonna press forward just in case. I don't want to get caught up.
David's crime was revealed. Many people noticed the connections and called David the Bay Harbor Butcher, which is Dexter's name.
Oh, okay. Well, I know Dexter's now the Bay Harbor Butcher.
He's a serial killer. But
cool.
Before we get to that, I think it's relevant to say that despite all of the red flags imaginable and a lot of the information that I've gone over being easily found online, 2025 marked the greatest year of David's career. From officially collaborating with Fortnite and making the anthem for it, to collaborating with artists like Kali Uchis and having Pokimane in one of his music videos, to having songs of his be featured in extremely mainstream TV shows like Invincible and Arcane, all of which got to tens of millions of views. By all accounts, his wildest dreams had come true, but at the same time, someone else's worst nightmare followed suit. On the evening of the 8th of September, fresh off the blood moon and Celeste's birthday, there was a 2023 Tesla with Texas license plates in an impound yard on the 1000th block of North Mansfield Avenue in Los Angeles, which was emitting a foul odor. At that point, it had been there for over 3 days, and before that, it had been parked at Bluebird Avenue for 3 weeks, with some sources saying more than a month. A big metal box in Los Angeles heat.
Don't worry, your goldfish brain will forget. Hopefully.
To see about the smell, they opened the front trunk, finding a plastic bag containing the cut-up remains of a girl, about 5'2".
On. Body in a plastic bag found in a black it doesn't say cut up, right? Because there's two different reports. One says it's in pieces and the other one says body, which is body in a plastic bag possibly degradation of bags or gas buildup. Like, again, it's like
Finding a
hard to
plastic
fully
bag
know the state of the
containing
body
cut-up
because we still don't
remains of a
know.
girl, about 5'2", weighing just 71 pounds, with wavy black hair, wearing a tube top and leggings. When Celeste went missing the year prior, she was listed as weighing 130 pounds, and now only 70, signaling she had lost a significant amount of weight since then, even accounting for the weight the body loses as it decomposes. The body was soon identified, and upon further investigation, police found that the vehicle was registered to David Anthony Burke and hadn't been reported as stolen. While all of this was going on, David was performing his music, including all of the stuff he wrote about her. If that weren't enough, one TikTok compiled the many theatrics David had during his show, all of which allude to what he did to Celeste. Part of what led not only to the identification of Celeste's body, but also her connection to David was the shush tattoo he had on his finger. Although this has been widely reported to mean that she also had a tattoo with shush on her finger, there are pictures of what she had tattooed that just looks like David's name in red. Again,
Oh,
this is another
shit.
sign of what kind of dynamic they had. While she had his actual name on her finger, he only had an expression for secrecy and silence. Additionally, another connection made by
I never saw the David tattoo on her finger. I know that she had the matching shush tattoo, though.
people on Reddit is that the original location of the Tesla with Celeste's remains before it was towed was just a little over 100 yards away from where he used to live in Los Angeles, and his place has since been investigated by the police. David's future shows were promptly canceled, and he's been described as fully cooperative with law enforcement, although he hasn't been officially listed as a suspect or even a person of interest. One of the first people to speak out publicly about what had just been uncovered was Celeste's brother, Matthew Hernandez. According to NBC LA,
The fact he's not even listed as a person of interest, bro, this is getting so swept under. this is the most swept under case. Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Matthew said that family members who still live in Lake Elsinore knew that Celeste knew David, and that Celeste's disappearance took place when she went to see a movie with him. Simultaneously, to someone who decided to contact him on Instagram, Matthew said, "Yes, it was David. I met him once in person. I knew about him taking Celeste and went to the police about it, but lack of evidence, so it was waved off."
See, that's my thing, right? Is like, as internet people, what could you really say if her own brother went to the police and said, hey, he took her? The police are waving off her own brother saying, hey, David took her. Like, that's the level we're dealing with here, right? That's how fucked up this is.
Even then, they don't do anything. They haven't even done anything towards him. She was always saying that he was waiting until she was 18 to get married and stuff like that. My sister wouldn't say anything, ever. Please send me more if you know. I never knew about the Discord server. I wish I would have known. I could have used this. I don't even have Discord. Matthew then sent a few previously unreleased pictures of Celeste and confirmed the authenticity of the text message exchanges where Celeste identifies someone else who had been with her. But Matthew remarks that this Gus person has since been shot dead. Someone else who came forward was a friend of his and former teammate from when David was still a Fortnite player.
I think most of you all know I've known David for about 3.5 years, and the internet knows a 15-year-old girl was found disconfigured in the front of his car. Can't even say 15 because she was 14 when she passed. For those who don't know, David used to be a professional Fortnite player in the team that I was leading, Limit. Back then, I used to make music on my computer. He didn't have a good computer, so I told him about BandLab, and he started making music, and it completely popped off. And David, even before and after fame, he's always been a really, really nice person, like a little bit too nice, like comically nice. And for those who've been following me for a while, you know I used to have this ongoing joke over and over and over again about me dissing on David and us having like fake beef. Literally a year ago today, I posted, "The enemy, no, the enemy is David." And I would always make comments just hating on him because I thought it was funny to portray, you know, I'm jealous of him, it should have been me. And flash forward to today, this is absolutely disgusting. He has known this girl since she was either 11 or 12.
Another member of his Fortnite team added more context to how they all initially met. We were all in a Fortnite team called Chronic, which is where I met him. He met her in like 2021 through Fortnite, I'm pretty sure. Then he made her get Discord. Everyone in the team knew about her, and he would joke about it and brush it off every time it got mentioned. That's all I personally know, but my friend Pistol knows more because they talked way more. She would literally say he her, but then follow it up with a joke, so I don't know if she was being for real or not. He was also just a weirdo, to be honest.
She also said that on the live stream too, which is crazy.
Used to send
Holy
in
shit.
group chats. It does seem to be the case that a Fortnite team called Chronic was active at that point in time, and it also seems to be the case that David was affiliated with them in some way, at least based on this video title. On the other hand, Celeste's Discord account is verified to have been created in January 2021, which would make her 10, as she would only turn 11 in September
Oh my
that year.
god! Don't let your 10-year-olds into Discord servers! Where are the parents? Oh god! Dude, my niece is 10! I think I would kick her out of her fucking chair if I saw she was in Discord. Go play with kids outside! I'm buying you a Polly Pocket! Holy shit!
Is all the more horrific. Someone else who knew David and claimed they briefly dated when she was 16 and he was 18 claimed she had seen him with Celeste but never had any idea of anything that was going on. But besides people who knew David, some that knew Celeste also chimed in, including one called Exile's Funeral, who said, "Last time me and Celeste called, she was drunk and spam calling David. They have matching tattoos from when they dated. David used to have pictures of her up on his Instagram, but after they broke up, he took it off. Only thing throwing me off is the age, but I'm just gonna assume she lied about her age to everyone in our friend group back then, because they did date, and then 2 days after that call with me, she deleted her whole account. Pictures too, also looks just like her. No way it's another Hispanic Celeste with the same curls, same face. That just doesn't make sense. Gets to a point with coincidences. This same
So there is something to mention. There is another Celeste in David's life that is not the 13-year-old. I mean, the 14-year-old who passed away. Now, this other one, I don't think was ever dating him, though. I'm not really sure. But he brought her over before to meet Jason the Ween. And that was like a whole big controversy because people were like, Jason, you met Celeste. You were in videos with Celeste. What the fuck? Why didn't you stop David? And he's like, that's not the same Celeste. It's a different Celeste. And they're like, sure, buddy. Sure it was. And then they found out, oh shit, it actually is a different one. So I don't know what's going on with that in particular. But there is supposedly a different Celeste out there that David brought to go to big streamer meetups with like other like streamer celebrities.
person followed up outside of Discord, providing a series of screenshots of Instagram chats dated to December 2024, corroborating their claims to have been in contact with Celeste at that point in time. Due to how much attention this case got and how complicit many of the people in his Discord server were, the people who were in charge of administrating it felt the need to go out of their way to make an announcement. We, the Discord and Twitch staff team, want to clarify what we knew and didn't know regarding Celeste. We were not aware of her true age or that she was a missing person. We also did not have any contact with her outside of what was public. From what was shared in David's Twitch streams and her role in the server, we understood her to be around 18 or 19. She appeared in 2 streams, but otherwise was not active in the server, and we do not have ongoing communication with her. Most of us are not located in California, so we were not aware of any missing persons reports connected to her. Additionally, the staff team has had minimal contact with David or his management. The mention of her full name within the server was not seen in real time due to how fast the chat moves when David pings everyone. As a result of this situation, the majority of the staff team has left the server, and we no longer associate with David. We do not support his actions in any capacity.
Okay, because I think someone earlier was asking about the moderators, so this is their statement. Okay, I can agree with that. Like, if you didn't fucking know, you didn't know. And the moment you know, you dipped out. I respect that. Yeah.
Our priority has always been the well-being of members in this community. We are deeply saddened by the situation and extend our prayers to Celeste's family. May she rest in peace and may her family receive justice. While I'm sure that this sentiment is genuine, and although it is quite possible that none of the members of his staff knew about it, there were people in the servers who weren't necessarily staff members who definitely knew. One person in specific by the name of Xerxify, who was David's Twitch manager, was actually caught deleting Discord messages in real time by Redditors. murders. First off, this makes him look quite guilty, and second, I'm pretty sure that
We
if
got
these
a
messages
complicit
are
motherfucker.
eventually
We got one.
procured, and they certainly could be given the high-profile nature of this case, he may now be complicit and liable to get a charge of his own. And all of that is assuming that he isn't actually guilty of something, which he very well might be, given his urgency to go delete a bunch of posts on the Discord server, probably because those messages could prove that he knew what David was doing beforehand. A few days after the first big info dump online about Celeste and David's case, a tweet that got a lot of engagement claimed that the FBI was holding David's bodyguard, Mark Morales, aka Marky Next Door, on suspicion for accessory to murder, with an offered reward of $25,000 for information that could lead to his
One, that's crazy. Accessory to murder. Two, 460 pounds. Oh shit, bitch. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to fat shame. But fuck, man. Jesus. Damn.
his arrest. Mark was then contacted by none other than Neon on stream.
Yo, bro, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't want the government to be on me, so I don't know if you could be on my phone.
Dude, hey, buddy, I'm not on the run by the FBI, okay? I don't know why you're going. I don't know why you're saying.
Yes, you are, bro. You're on the run. Stop.
Hey, look at the FBI wanted poster. It literally says I'm black, and it says my alias is Big Steppa in Tubbs.
What the are you talking about?
Bro, the FBI wanted poster. It literally says I'm black.
1 second. I'm sorry, I just had a moment of realization where I'm watching fucking Neon on my screen. Lord.
Oh, okay, so you're saying it's not you.
No, it's bro. You know what, bro? It was they got mad at Aiden for not streaming, and they made a whole.
You're guilty.
Theory.
Get off my phone. You're guilty.
He's
36.
Bro, you're so weird, bro. Alright, dude, you got it, bro.
36, but the wanted poster said that he's 27, 28, right?
Stop spreading narratives, dude.
Like Marky said in the clip, the FBI wanted tweet was proven to be
27,
fake,
yeah.
as Marky Next Door is actually a streamer who had nothing to do with David or Celeste. Regardless, this is still technically a developing situation, and ultimately, time will tell if legal charges are pressed against David. Although, given everything here, I can't really see it going any other way. Regardless, rest in peace to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose life was taken far before it could fully develop.
God, rest in
I've been
peace.
Turkey Tom. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone.
Just a kid, man. I think that's the thing that I hate is people trying to make it sound like it's like he murdered like a woman. Like, this is a child. People need to like fucking lock in, dude, because there are David defenders, man. I'm so sick and tired, man, of this kind of weird shit. I mean, this happened in like, I've talked about this previously too, is that like back in like 2020-ish, maybe 2021, I think it was 2021 actually, there was like a friend group that like Ant and I were a part of, right? And Ant and I left the friend group because we found out one of the dudes assaulted another one of our friends. And no one told us. They all went to a con together. He assaulted her. And then they all were like, yeah, but he changed since then. And he assaulted her back before we became friends with them. Right? So we had no idea for years. They let it slide. For years. Right? Because he's changed. He's grown. And I'm like, what the when Ant and I found out, we were like, get the fuck away from me. We don't want to be around any of you guys. Right? Confronted the dude first. He goes, yeah, I did that, but I've changed. And I'm like, fuck that. I talked to the girl after. She was like, I can't handle being around him. I was like, fair enough, bitch. You went through hell. Okay. And then I talked to the other friends who were like complicit, who I was like, you were there physically. You know it happened. Why did you think it was okay? And they were like, I like, he's changed. He's so much better now. And then Ant and I both were like, okay, we're leaving. So when Ant and I are like ride or dies, like I love Ant so much because when him and I left that friend group, we were like, can we even trust people again? How do you trust people after that? Is the girl all right? She's doing okay. She lives with roommates. So she's not like alone or anything. But it's hard. It's hard to exist after going through something like that, you know? And then like not having people support you. and supporting him instead, right? And does it go to best friend? Oh, he really is. Like, the way he had my back was like the way I had, like, we had each other's backs, to be honest, because like finding out about that was so terrifying, because like you realize that all of your friends were okay with it, right? Because like he's changed, and it's like, just because you guys think that doesn't mean I need to be associated with that. I don't want to be near anyone who's like that. Like, keep that shit away from me, dog. I don't know how Ant trusts anyone. It's hard, dog. It's hard. Yeah. So it's like, you know, there's like, it's just so terrifying. Like how, like, and again, I'm not in control of anyone else. If people want to forgive each other and shit, sure. But it's like, keep that fucking shit away from me, dog. I think it's kind of just terrifying, man. And like, realizing like all of those other friends in that friend group were just like chill with it because he's changed. And I'm like, y'all hid it from Ant and I for a reason, because you knew he wouldn't be okay with it. You know what I mean? If you really thought he changed and he was really better, you would have told us about it. But you knew the moment we found out we'd be gone, right? And like, that's just the gross part of it all, is like, it's just so, it's so shady out there, man. At the end of the day, like, you know, I think it's important to acknowledge, you know, take care of fellow humans, be a good person. If you don't know how to take care of fellow humans, just stay alone. You know what I'm saying? Dap me up. Just watch YouTube videos and don't fucking talk to people if you don't know how to treat other people with respect. It's just that simple. It's just heartbreaking. At the end of the day, like, I mean, just to end on a little bit more of an upbeat note, right? Is like, this investigation's still ongoing when it comes to like Celeste's situation. And I'm hoping that due to community pressure, that something comes good out of this, right? It's like, the only benefit of a case not being closed is social pressure can allow for something to happen in justice of her. Whether David did it or not, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me more is finding out who did it to her, and for her family to be at ease with that, and for her to be at ease with that, right? And that's what matters more. So I'm hopefully looking forward to seeing people pushing for that, because, you know, she's just a kid. And I think all kids should be like vouched for this hard, and they don't really get that spotlight. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. We went on quite a journey together. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.